So the first celebrity I met,
Right.
I was 19 years old, and I was working as a security guard at a major hotel chain near the Knoxville airport.
Uh-huh.
I worked the night shift, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. And I was working with an 18-year-old, I'll call her Blondie. She was in charge of the front desk, and we were the two people in charge of the hotel all night long. So one night, there was this fellow sitting in the lobby, and friendly guy, and he was just watching TV, and I asked him if he was, checking in, or he goes, I don't know if I'm checking in or not. I'm waiting to see. And I said, okay. And he just started talking to me, very engaging. He was from New England, for sure. So it was like, oh, you don't have that Southern accent. And he was asking what I was doing and all this stuff. And I asked, why he was in limbo. And he said he was a singer. His name was Freddie. He says, not Freddie Mercury. He said his name was Freddie Cannon. And I had no idea who Freddie Cannon was, right? And they had a show in the Tri-Cities up in northeast Tennessee, up near Virginia. Yeah. So he still had a long way to go, and it was like after midnight already. And he wasn't sure if he was supposed to check in and stay, with us or go on. So then eventually a chauffeur comes in, and he goes up and he's talking to Blondie, and they're talking, and she's going through the reservations, and they decide they're going to cancel the reservations and just drive over now to get up there and sleep in the next day. But anyway, while we're sitting there, another guy came in, wearing a suit, and he just kind of marched right up to Blondie next to the chauffeur and everything. And I'm looking at him, and it's Dick Clark.
Wow.
So Dick Clark was the host of this nostalgic music tour that was going around. I guess Freddie was jumping on the tour at this point, and they were going up to, and I'm looking, and Freddie sees me, and he's like grinning and everything. I said, that's Dick Clark. He said, yeah, he's hosting the show. I was like, oh my God, and I realized that Freddie might be a little bit of something to somebody, if he's got Dick Clark, taking along. And I guess the funny part of this story is I kept looking at Blondie, and she's just looking and just going about and just kind of ignoring Dick Clark, and I'm kind of looking at her like, whoa, widening my eyes at her like, this is a guy, this is an important guy. Yeah. And she's not looking at me or anything, in her own world like she always was. And then they turn and they start walking out, and it was like, some movie or something. She goes, wait, you're somebody. You're somebody. She goes, who are you? You're somebody. And I'm just like laughing and shaking my head. And Dick Clark points at me and says, ask him. And I said, it's Dick Clark. And she goes, and then they were gone. And we were so excited we probably didn't get to sleep till 4 a.m.
That's so funny.
But that was my first celebrity I met. Total accident.